Good morning. This is Robert, and I'm going to do a video today that is purely educational, because I think with providing information and education and this is mental illness related. There's a lot of stigma and misunderstanding, and with that comes a lot of judgments. People tend to make judgments to things that they don't understand. And with the reality of the world, right, wrong, or indifferent is, people are more likely to make judgments than to put the effort into understanding situations, for whatever reason. Again, right, wrong, or indifferent. I'm not, quote unquote, judging people for doing that, but that's just the reality. So I'm going to share about my specific mental illness, in terms to paint a more specific picture, for people to understand. Hopefully, everybody can't totally understand, but I do this, because, and it's also for me to be okay with myself and share who I am, my journey. I want to empower people and show them that to have the courage to be themselves, even if despite the judgments and such. So specifically with me, I have been diagnosed and living with schizo-affective disorder. I do know it like the back of my hand, just because of my experiences living with it, all the research that I've done on it, information I've received from my counselors and psychiatrists, mostly my personal experience. So this is my story, and I'd like to share with everyone, and I hope people understand a little bit better, maybe can benefit from that. I don't say this to get anything. I don't need attention for it, obviously. Why would I want attention with mental illness, with the climate of people? But regardless, when I share this, regardless if people like it or dislike it. So based on what I've done for research, and I'll give some websites that give great information at the end of this video. Schizo-affective disorder affects 0.3% of the population. The stat that I got said 0.3% of the population. It did not specify if that's in the United States or in the world, but it's 0.3% of some population, so I wasn't able to get any further than that. And schizo-affective disorder is commonly misdiagnosed, and there's a reason why. It's got the combination of symptoms of schizophrenia, which is a very it's a mental illness that not a lot of people know about, but it is kind of scary, just because if you picture the average person as schizophrenia, it's not a nice picture. But wait, there's more. Schizoaffective is the symptoms of schizophrenia, as well as a mood disorder like bipolar. Now, okay, I'm going to go into the details with this. So, schizoaffective is a combination of a thought disorder, mental illness, which means if you're not on medications, you have no control over your thoughts. Your thoughts and it's not, with that, you're not getting, in my experience with my thoughts, I'm not getting out of control with wonderful, happy thoughts. They can be very dark, negative, intrusive, and if I don't take medication for it, I really, unless I go and become disciplined, like the mental discipline of a black belt karate person with my thoughts, I'm at the mercy of them. So that's part of it. Now, the mood disorder is essentially, if you don't take medication, you have pretty much no control over your moods, especially if you don't go to work into therapy and get the same type of discipline for the thoughts. So it's a wonderful wham bam combination of, just out of control of pretty much everything. Um, and I think with the mood disorder, temper is very difficult to control. I think I'm not perfectly controlling my temper, but I think I do a pretty good job of not allowing it to harm anyone physically or get into physical confrontations. Um, yeah, it's so that's the first layer of it. With schizoaffective disorder, there's two types. There's the depressive type and the bipolar type. So essentially, with the depressive type, is that there isn't a real reason for anything else. You're just depressed. Doesn't matter. I could look at the wall, the color of the paint on the wall could hit me the wrong way, and I'm just going to get depressed. Um, and with the bipolar type, that means that you're again, bipolar is essentially it's a mood disorder, which means that you have to be on medication in order to feel balanced. Otherwise, your moods are going to go uh, majorly high, which will go through a cycle, or low. So, uh, you know, um, yeah. So that's bipolar being the bipolar type is more your moods being out of control, and so I experience both depressive and mood. Um, there's also other things with that without you know out of control with your mood. Extremely easy to be disorganized thinking. Um, with mental illness, a lot of the times it's very difficult to keep yourself clean and your place organized. Um, it's just, and it's really, it all stems down to like essentially the same thing with depression. When you experience it on a level where it's out of control, um, it just impacts every aspect of your life negatively, including like keeping yourself clean. Depression takes away from you the ability to want to care, to do things, simple things like that. You may get up and care enough to uh, clean yourself, keep your place organized. With the depression, you just don't want to. You're trying to do something when you don't want to, and that want is it's stronger than your want to do something. So that's thing. So with my experience, schizoaffective really developed for me when I lost my grandfather back in 1997. That's when it triggered the mental illness, and then the wonderful ride began. I won't go into to details too much of that, but with schizoaffective, also people with this can experience hallucinations, auditory, visual, and a hallucination is seeing things or hearing things that are not there. I don't experience hallucinations. Where schizoaffective impacts me is if I don't take medications, uh, I lose control of my thoughts, I lose control of my mood, and where it impacts me the absolute most is if I don't take medications, I lose touch with reality, and I become delusional. Delusions are an idea that you have in your head that is not based in reality. Everyone else can see it. You can't. You're just not able to. No matter how much you try to reason with the person, it's just, I won't go into my delusions, but the delusions that I have are not nice. They're very, they're very traumatic. I've had to go to therapy to deal with them. Um, I don't get, I wish I could get very happy delusions like I won $1 million or something like that, but it just hasn't happened. They're not nice. I've experienced frustration from taking medications, um, not nice things. I wouldn't wish them upon anyone. Um, but, I, that's where that hits me. There's the hallucinations, the delusions, other things that are really symptomatic of schizophrenia, and that's pretty much it. So I am very thankful, excuse me, that I have found medications that help me. Number one, a lot of times it's not, this is the hand that I'm dealt. I accept it. I will do the best I can with it every day. But I am very thankful that I can hold down a job for the most part. I have in the past. I've done well when everything is manageable. Many people with schizo-affective disorder just don't have the ability to work. Emotionally, they can't handle a 9 to 5, 40-hour work week on top of everything else they do. I can. I get frustrated because I have to work harder to work a full-time job than the average person. And I'm jealous about that because I would like to know what it's like to just focus on a job and not have to deal with all this extra things. But that's kind of petty. It's just me being human, wishing that I didn't have a mental illness, but that's not my reality. I can live whatever I want. I can talk to, people wouldn't know that probably, but it's something I chose to share, and it's who I am. Being schizoaffective, I think with stigma, with mental illness, I'm my own worst enemy with that. I'm the first one to go judgmental against myself, but I'm working on changing that because that's not going to help me get better. And I've made a commitment to getting better, and I think education and understanding helps that. I'm thankful that I'm back. I can be in touch with reality and do whatever I choose to do. This doesn't hold me back. The reason why I do these videos, this will be the final part of the video. The reason why I do these type of videos and why I'm very try to advocate for people with everything that I've been through in the past 22 years, say the past 19 years, I was just resigned to suffering, just not doing anything, not doing enough to improve my life, because the hand I was dealt was horrible. Depression was just too hard to deal with. Life was unfair, and I just resigned. This is the best that it's going to get. There's nothing you can do. Just suffer. And then my last inpatient stay, I woke up. There was like a fire just lit up, and through my delusions, my grandfather came to me and was pretty much said to me, is this what you want for yourself? This is what you want for your life. You want to just continue to suffer, and that's it. And you deserve better. You can make this better for yourself. You need to start caring more about yourself. And it was a delusion. I wasn't in my right frame of mind, but it was one that got me fired up, and I started looking at things different, and it propelled me to where I'm doing now, where I'm doing much better, working on myself. I'm not where I'm at before, but I'm in a place that I like. I have the hand that I dealt. For those 19 years, with depression, it tells you so many lies, and it's because you're sick and you're not able to handle any type of truth. But you know, like nobody, anybody with mental illness who's out of control of it, don't believe the BS. You don't deserve to suffer. Your life is not meant to suffer. Life is not entirely horrible. It's worth living. Um, Putting effort into yourself and taking your mental illness on is the most worthwhile thing you can do in your life. You know, the worst thing that mental illness cripples you with is the lies it tells you. And then once you decide that you don't want to lie to yourself anymore, and you start working on yourself, and it becomes easier to know what's the truth and what's the lies, that's when everything starts to fall in place. So I hope everybody got to benefit from this video. If you listen to it, thank you so much for sharing. I wanted to share my story, or part of it in the journey, and if this helps anybody, I'm very happy to do that. God bless, and you have a great day.